Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 6:30 p.m.
Hands up and search warrant, open the door!
Have you ever wondered what it takes to serve a search warrant? The planning, the surveillance, the execution. I'm Ginger Gadsden. This is News 6 at 6:30. I recently got a firsthand look from Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood and the men and women who serve in law enforcement in Volusia County. Photojournalist Homer Salcedo and I got to ride along with the sheriff last week as they were about to serve a warrant on a convicted felon who was suspected of selling meth. The process was eye-opening, and yes, being that close to an actual tactical operation and not knowing how it could play out was a bit scary.
If we're stalled for any reason, I'll call for a break of the 3 side windows as a distraction.
So right now it's about 5:30 in the morning. Sheriff Chitwood is here. It's a briefing.
Is Brian M. Clarkson, 927 and 95.
For a seamless operation, the sheriff's office and SWAT team go over every detail of who they are looking for.
His girlfriend, Alexandria Wyman.
In all, there are about 35 people involved in carrying out this search warrant. Besides the SWAT team and sheriff's deputies, members of the Edgewater PD and of the East Volusia Narcotics Task Force were also there.
And Halifax is our closest trump.
Once the details are squared away and everyone knows their positioning,
Full now in 2 minutes.
it is go time.
Narcotics got a complaint about sales coming out of a house. They did a little bit of recon and discovered that the person who lives in that house has been arrested before for armed trafficking in meth.
Is that why the SWAT team's here?
SWAT team is here because based on his criminal history of possession of a firearm and armed drug dealing, it knocks the score up higher.
So you got to make sure that the person you're looking for is actually at the location.
Actually at the
How
location.
do you do that?
They have surveillance, and they've been surveilling this guy since 11 o'clock last night. So we know he's in there because he got out. He got up this morning, and he moved his car to let his father get out to go to work. So we know he's in there now.
What they don't know is how the suspects will react to that early morning knock on the door.
No two are alike, and you know, there's sometimes we'll pull up with all of this equipment, and you'll knock on the door, and they'll open the door and let you in. There's other times that you hear the footsteps running around. They're trying to flush the drugs. They're trying to throw the drugs out the window. And there's times you get in there and you have lots of guns and people are armed. You know, somebody's laying in bed armed with a gun. A couple months ago, the guy wouldn't get out of bed, and when they had forcibly ripped the sheets off of him, he was laying there with a gun in his hand.
Sheriff's office, search warrant, open the door. Residence of 4348 Indian River Drive. Exit the house. Sheriff's office, search warrant, open the door!
The left one. The left one. The left.
I was just cooking breakfast.
Okay. All right, just relax. Just relax. Just follow their instructions, okay? So he is obviously the guy we talked about.
That's him.
That's him. That was his girlfriend when you saw in the briefing. I think they're going to do really well in there. He's got a gun. He was in bed with a gun, as we just talked about on the ride here. There's nice wad of cash in there. There's meth in there. So they're going to find enough stuff that hopefully this time he stays in jail for quite a while.
So what will happen now with him?
They'll bring him inside the house, and they will, on video, read him. They'll videotape everything, read him a copy of the search warrant, why we are here, what we are searching for. They'll give him an opportunity to talk to us if he wants to talk to us. He may not. And then eventually he'll make his way out to the branch jail where he'll be charged again with armed trafficking and whatever else they get out of the house.
On this morning, everything went according to plan. The suspects were found with 1 kilo of methamphetamine, which the sheriff tells me has a street value of about $42,000. Drugs and drug money that will not end up on the streets of Volusia County.
Well, now that's a wake-up call.
And it ended the best possible way, with no shots being fired, no one being hurt. And I knew it was serious when, in the briefing, they went over the closest trauma center. And they said Halifax. So they prepare for everything.
That tells you the stakes here.
Yeah.
That's Ginger Gadsden. I'm Matt Austin. Let's take a live look downtown Mount Dora. One of the most beautiful places to hang out in Central Florida. Looking good out there on the lake, and that is where you'll want to be. Another sunny, bright day as our stretch of record heat continues.
And right on schedule, we are seeing our first tropical wave of the season as well. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. And Jonathan, no surprise here.
No, there's not. Yeah, it was about this year last time that we saw our first wave roll off of Africa. This is normal. We're just talking about it. It's just noteworthy because it happened. It's out there. It's on social media. It's on the internet. So we're going to give you the credible information that you need to know about this. And it's really nothing. It's just that it's there, and it's just the awareness, again, that hurricane season a little less than 2 weeks away, which officially, again, begins on June 1st. Meteorology 101 here. You see these white lines in the northern hemisphere. You see the white lines out of the southern hemisphere. They come together, and they form this zone called as the intertropical convergence zone. As the wind converges or runs into each other, it helps to force up that air to get these thunderstorms going. It happens right around the globe, and embedded in that is this little kink in the actions. We have a little tropical wave here, and again, that rolled off of Africa on Sunday, and it's working its way across the Atlantic. This is not expected to develop by any means. The official hurricane outlook from the Hurricane Center, the daily outlook that again started on May 15th, again shows nothing there in any kind of terms of blob. That's what we're looking for. These yellow highlighted areas, Eastern Pacific, by the way, they got their first highlight from the National Hurricane Center today. Of course, that means nothing for us. Their hurricane season does get started 2 weeks early when compared to the Atlantic. They started on May 15th. So again, nothing to worry about. Long story short, just wanted to show you that. Again, noteworthy, but again, nothing expected to develop in the near future. 20% shot for a couple of downpours through the rest of your evening. Otherwise, most of us are dry, just like last night. We are going to talk about when higher rain chances come rolling down the pipeline, guys, coming up at about 6:47.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. The start of hurricane season is less than 2 weeks away, and we want to make sure you're ready. We have a week of coverage dedicated to preparing for the next big storm. Hurricane Week on News 6 runs May 26th through the 30th. Right now, share your hurricane forecasting and safety questions. We'll find the right expert to get you those answers. Go to News 6's app or clickorlando.com. Click Contact Us. Well, right now at 6, a week after a baby was shot at a convenience store, a man is now behind bars. Last Tuesday, the Brevard Sheriff said the shootout involved 4 people in the parking lot of Coco Meat and Produce. Now the Sheriff's Office says there was a 5th person responsible for firing more than 50 rounds, one of those hitting a 1-year-old in the leg. As that baby girl continues to recover, News 6's James Sparvero is picking up his coverage at the county jail where the first of multiple suspects is now behind bars.
This new affidavit, it tells us a little bit more about the feud, as the Sheriff's Office called it, between the 3 people they say who started the shootout and a 17-year-old who returned fire. The new report reads the teen recognized one of the 3 others because he had some kind of problem with the teen's brother. Also new, the report reads along with the baby,
as I said, was shot one time.
The teen was shot in his leg too. At the scene, Sheriff Wayne Ivey said only the baby was shot. The Sheriff's Office says the teen was arrested because he had a gun while under 18. Now here at the jail in Brevard County for adults, this is 32-year-old Xavier Thomas. While the Sheriff's Office says he was not one of the 3 people who started the shootout.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
They say he did shoot at the teenager as well.
You're here pursuant to a warrant on the charge of discharge of a firearm.
That affidavit reads, Thomas says he was at the food store in his truck when the shootout started. He believed his car was getting shot up and thought the suspects were trying to kill him, it reads.
These are pretty serious, unfortunate facts with regard to this case.
The Sheriff's Office says there was a bullet hole in Thomas's truck. Judge Katie Jacobus gave him a bond totaling $105,000. The Sheriff's Office says the 3 gunmen who started the shootout, they are all still at large. In Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, News 6.
This is an issue bringing massive crowds on both sides. Wildlife officials set to start talking about bear hunts tomorrow. With bear encounters on the rise, Florida Fish and Wildlife is closing in on a decision to allow bear hunting for the first time in 10 years. The commission is meeting in Ocala tomorrow to discuss an option for a 3-week hunting season in December. Now, FWC says bears have expanded their occupied range from 17% to 51% since 1992. On top of that is the growing population. As of the latest study, wildlife officials believe there are more than 4,000 bears roaming the state. That proposal It includes an option for annual bear hunting in the fall of each year, drawing mixed reactions.
You'd be against the hunt at this point,
yes,
right?
most certainly.
Regulation is, I guess, good for everything, you know. Regulation and discipline.
Yeah, as long as people follow the rules.
Right, right.
Protesters say the plan has several issues, including no check-in stations and using hunting dogs, but supporters say the hunt will be contained to a few areas where there's an abundance of bears. Now, Florida Fish and Wildlife planning on discussing the bear hunt proposal tomorrow, but a final vote won't be until August.
Well, a federal judge is ordering new protections and steps to help our local Indian River Lagoon manatees. The judge ruled the state violated the Endangered Species Act, and poor water quality ended with a record-breaking number of manatees dying.
Now, there are several rules being laid out for people who live in parts of Brevard and Volusia counties. News 6's Molly Reed breaks down how it will work.
If you live in northern Brevard or here in southern Volusia County and you were thinking about getting a septic tank this summer, you're going to have to put that project on pause. It's one of the new rules. A federal judge is giving the state of Florida to save the manatees, hoping the efforts will restore the seagrass in the lagoon, their main food source.
The lagoon has suffered over decades from so much pollution to the point it literally was collapsing.
Dr. Patrick Rose is the executive director of the Save the Manatee Club. It's a local nonprofit organization aimed at researching and saving sea cows.
We've seen some recovery of seagrasses within the Mosquito Lagoon and portions of the Banana River, but most of the Indian River is still devoid of most of the seagrasses.
The state's mortality numbers show the deaths have gone down over the last 3 years, but these researchers are still on their toes. 363 have died in the state so far this year, higher than during that period in 2024 and 2023, but much lower than 2022 and 2021, when the state declared it an unusual mortality event.
We've known the problem is there. There are efforts being undertaken to remedy this, but we're looking at a probably 15 to 20 year cycle. And so I think the real value of this is it gets people's attention.
Now, one part of this new order is that the state will have to apply for what's called an incidental take permit from the feds, and that means coming up with a very comprehensive conservation plan. Until the feds officially issue that permit, the state is not allowed to issue permits for septic tank construction or installation for anyone near the northern Indian River Lagoon.
Groundwater could take those nutrients and transport it right into the bay and cause those harmful algal blooms.
And that could have a pretty big effect on any new residential or commercial development going into these areas. That moratorium will take effect on July 17th and continue until the state gets that permit from the feds. In Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed, News 6.
Here is a look at what's coming up on News 6 at 6:30.
Sorry, Destiny. Well, here's the good news. Next time this happens to you, you don't have to throw that old hose away. You can just mend it. There are all kinds of mending pieces. This one's just $6. I'm Eric Von Anken with 3 easy steps. We're getting results at home coming up.
Plus, a chance to see all your favorite video game characters up close and personal. News 6 morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer gives us a look at the new Super Mario World at Universal's Epic Universe. You're watching News 6 at 6:30. We are live on News 6 Plus, getting results all over the place. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your Tuesday evening traffic alert. We saw the lane closures and full closures. We're going to see them again tonight. Southbound 417, Lee Vista, heavy construction, but here, pay attention. Westbound I-4, starting at about 9 o'clock at night, you're going to see a complete closure of all your main lines and your express lane right at Kirkman. Then at some point overnight, your main line will open, but the express will stay closed. Either way, if you have to drive at night sometime in the westbound direction, just pay attention. I'm Trooper Steve with the News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
Well, it is a moment fans in Central Florida and across the world really have been waiting for to experience this latest addition to Orlando's theme park paradise. It is only 2 days away, and the park has a lot to offer, with the magic of Harry Potter to the adventure of How to Train Your Dragon.
So many things, but a real creative focus was placed on getting Super Nintendo World just right for guests. News 6's Crystal Moyer headed to the Mushroom Kingdom to check out the special features fans can expect.
It's time to power up. I'm News 6's Crystal Moyer here at Nintendo World, one of the portals in Epic Universe, bringing you right into the nostalgic video game.
To see it in real life and see guests' reactions when they come through that gate, when they're up in the Mushroom Concourse outside of Peach's Castle, just going to tears, that fills our hearts. We love that. That's what we do it for.
Along with several rides, you can punch, drive, and scan your way through Super Nintendo World to collect points and compete using the app. We've got these power-up bands, and being able to have these interactive elements and people play along and collect points. What went into making all of that happen as well?
That's all very particular in partnering with Nintendo. It's the way that they bring the experience to the guests, figuring out what is so intuitive and how we make something that can be incredibly complex feel intuitive and natural to all of these guest players for all ages.
You can hang out with Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach while you're visiting, and even check out Bowser's Castle.
It's been, for me, 8 years, 10 years in the making to really bring this all to life.
Donkey Kong Country is also drumming up excitement. Here he comes! We did it! I couldn't leave without asking you, what tips do you have so we can get the highest amount of points with these power-up bands, because I'm really competitive.
A lot of hidden elements, I would say pay attention to that. I can't give everything away, but in MK, Mario Kart, Bowser's Challenge, of course, tap in, look for some of the hidden blocks. The way that you get some of those characters, there is a boost start. That's a little secret that I'm going to give away on this one for Mario Kart itself. And everything else, you really just got to explore to find it.
From Epic Universe in Orlando, Crystal Moyer, News 6.
I'm just going to assume that Crystal is going to win getting all the points because she is very
I don't
competitive.
understand how she has so much energy. She gets up at 3 in the morning, friends, and then she's got that much energy.
But that's the best person to take you on a tour.
That's right.
It is. You get to see it all.
Youth is not wasted on the young. That's for sure. Jonathan Kagas joins us right now, and it's going to be very hot, maybe a little thunderstormy.
That's what we're going to be watching for. Of course, it's been so dry for so long. There's something big happening. Of course, we get the rain. We could have probably forecast that a year ago. 30% shot for storms by 1 o'clock if you're heading to opening day for Epic Universe. Of course, that is on Thursday. It's not going to be an all-day rain, but there is a cold front pushing in from the north. Now, we will see none of the benefits from the cold front. We will just get the storms from it, at least an increased shot at it. Just a 20% shot through about lunchtime, and then we're going to increase that chance a little bit as we approach lunch and beyond. We're going to play that out here, Future Radar. Again, we're fast forwarding to Thursday. So this is, again, Thursday, opening day of Epic Universe, and you see these storms try to get going from the Gulf Coast back towards Central Florida. That's lunchtime to 1 o'clock, and that's when we're going to look for maybe even the potential for a stray strong thunderstorm in the mix. There's 5 to 6 o'clock on your Thursday, still again dealing with the opportunity for a few stray thunderstorms out there. Right now, we have a few stray downpours. We have one in Polk County just east of Lakeland. Here is our sea breeze firing. This is exactly what happened last night. It pushed inland to about I-4. It popped a few of those storms in Orange County yesterday. Now, the motion's a little bit different. As it comes inland, we might see a few storms pop right in this area and then kind of blow back towards the Atlantic coast. So again, if you're out to dinner tonight or just hanging out, just be mindful that these little guys are going to try to get going. Maybe a rogue rumble of thunder in the mix. Few and far between. If you're watching from Denell and Ocala to the Villages, Eustis, Mascot, we're going to be on the drier side tonight. Most of Central Florida will be. Just know the best opportunity for a stray downpour along into the east of I-4. Tomorrow, really the same kind of deal. And then Thursday, we're going to be watching for the slightly better chance for those storms, courtesy of that cold front hanging out just towards our north and west, closer to the Big Bend area to help fire that off. Tomorrow morning, we are back into the low to mid 70s, a little steamy, still hot tomorrow afternoon. For that, here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
Temperatures tomorrow are going to get back into the mid-90s. We are still under the influence. You see that clockwise airflow throughout much of the Gulf, including Florida. That's our big chunk of high pressure that's really preventing much widespread rain from getting going and keeping us blazing hot. 95 tomorrow. We're in the ballpark of records. I don't think we get as many as we did today. It said a new one in Leesburg, said a new one in Daytona Beach. 91 on Thursday. That's when the storms come in and cools us down just a little bit anyway, upper 80s and lower 90s for your high on Friday. 20% shot for a lingering downpour. The best shot for rain this week comes on Thursday at 40%. Memorial Day looking toasty with a 30% shot for storms. Be right back.
I'm Crystal Moyer.
And I'm Justin Warmoth. Coming up in the morning, some new options for travelers just in time for summer.
The airline set to resume service in Orlando for the first time in nearly 15 years, and what it can mean if you're planning a trip overseas.
And you'll need a plane to get away from the heat. Candace will have your updated forecast every 10 minutes.
We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
Hello?
Eric, oh my goodness, I need your help. You're never gonna believe what just happened to me.
I'll be right there.
Oh, great, Eric, thanks. That was quick.
I am the handy newsman.
Yes, I need your help.
It sounded serious. What happened?
I was washing the news car, sprayed me.
Okay, I got you.
All right, Eric, here it is. I'm throwing it away.
No, don't do that. Destiny, I have never thrown away a hose in my entire life. Most of the time, you can mend it. In fact, there are all kinds of hose mending pieces you can get. I actually keep a few in my workbench. We're gonna cut the hose, put the new end on, and then it should be almost as good as new.
Good. You can come back.
Okay. All right, so I finish it going. Ah! That was terrible. You got me good. You got me good. That was awful. I hate snakes, especially when I think they're real.
Got him.
Anyway, step 2. We want to put the mender on the cut to make a new hose end. So I just loosened up the collar. Make sure to slide it on first. Now we're going to put the end into the hose. But hold on, house hack. Take your sprayer and take the new end and screw it into the bottom of the sprayer. Reason is, you kind of just made a handle for yourself. Look at this. That was the hardest part. Step 3 now, just slide the collar into place, tighten it down. And that's it.
Hey, Eric, great. Thanks. Can you help me wash my car now?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect, thanks.
Sure.
Do you mind turning on the water for me?
Oh, would love to.
Great. Ow! Turn it off!
Told you I'd get you next.
Really? Well, good. Now you can help me wash the car.
Yeah, hold on.
That tracks.
Those crazy kids.
I've thrown away so many hoses.
I was just buying a new hose.
That's what I've done.
I didn't know that existed.
We've been throwing good money away.
Very valuable.
All right, thank you for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
Remember, we break news at clickorlando.com.
Don't
We'll
be
see
so
you tonight
threatening.
at 11. I mean it.
Point at the people.
Wow.
Please.